Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of the Car Jargon podcast. Today I'm joined with lovely Benjamin Franklin and Ellie. We're in Ellie's 2002 Suburban right now. If you guys want to see more, that might be coming up soon. On today's episode of the podcast, what I want to talk about first is the new information that has been dropped from SRT about the new Rumblebee truck. So, as you guys probably already know, Tim Kaniskis presented the new Rumblebee sport trucks. They're based on the Ram 1500. They're all like lowered V8 big power street trucks at different levels. So you got the 5.7, 6.4, and then the Hellcat powered one. All super cool. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Ellie, what do you think about that?
Well, I honestly had no idea that they were even coming out with those. I heard down the grapevine that somebody mentioned something to me about it, and I was like, what? And then I actually saw it like on Instagram, and I thought that was really cool because I feel like Rumblebees are kind of underrated and not, I don't know, like super popular, and I think bringing back the name is gonna hype up a lot of people, and I think everybody that knows about it is pretty excited.
You mean the old Rumblebee is
Yes.
underrated?
In my opinion, I mean, most of the time when I see one on the road, it's not like everyone's jumping out of their seats and like freaking out that they see like a Rumblebee, because they're just old at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the old ones, I don't know off the top of my head if there was anything done to them other than like an appearance package to make them special.
Yeah, I think that they just had that classic yellow, like accent color, and that is what really made them special. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So the new ones are basically, if you were to take a TRX and put a lowering kit on it, that's what you'd get. So, like I said, there's the base is the 5.7. I think it has 395 horsepower is what they said. Then you can step up to the 6.4, the Scat Pack motor, and that one I don't remember the power on. And then the Hellcat is the 777 horsepower one, which is same horsepower and torque as a TRX that was just announced, I think, a month ago, and it's just a street version of it. And I think the body kit looks super cool on that. I actually kind of wish that all three of them had that cool body kit that the Hellcat version does, with that cool aggressive front bumper on it. The two lower versions just have basically the TRX front bumper. That's just paint matched. And I think it looks a little weird. Yeah, I mean it's cool. It stands out compared to a normal 1500. But I personally just think it's a little funky looking. It's clearly like off-road looking bumper, and it's on a lower truck.
Well, clearly Dodge really likes to have different levels of trims for their vehicles. Like they really like to basically let people be custom and let people have a big variety to choose from.
Yeah,
a lot of car companies just have like, very little to choose from. For example, like Toyota, if you try to build a new vehicle, the options are just so limited. But then you have Dodge, who has all these options, and I think that people really like it, and it makes it fun. And people love to customize their cars because it makes them more special, especially with the sticker prices that they have for new vehicles.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Is the TRX, I believe, the new TRX that just got re-released is priced starting at $102,000. So I would assume that the new Rumblebee Hellcat SRT would also start at or around $102,000, which is crazy money. I
heard that they are, I think the starting prices for those are like $70K. I actually was just talking to my coworkers about it today. Actually, one of my coworkers has the older Rumblebee, so he was like all like hyped up about it because I don't think anybody really expected them to bring back that platform. So we were discussing the price, and he thinks that people are really gonna like it because now we have like a muscle truck. Even though the TRX is still pretty cool, but the TRX is more based off of like an off-road platform and is more encouraged for like off-road play, while this truck will be like a, you know, muscle truck where people can do more street stuff with it. That's more of like the purpose of it.
Yeah, definitely. And so does your coworker wanna get a new one?
He of course said he would love to own one, but obviously the price is still pretty high, and I don't really think that most people that want one can necessarily afford one just yet, but I'm sure that they're dreaming about it because they do look really cool, and the way that Dodge presented it, I think makes a lot of people really excited, and the options in different engine sizes is really awesome as well.
Yeah, definitely. About the pricing, I disagree that it's gonna start in the 70s, at least for the Hellcat version.
I don't think the Hellcat version will start at 70. I'm saying I think like
okay. I gotcha.
The 5.3 or 5.7 is gonna start lower. Lower 70s, I mean.
Well, the RHO, which is obviously the TRX's little brother with the Hurricane, great motor, but it's not a V8. That starts at, I believe, 70 or 72 on Ram's website right now.
Okay.
So with that starting at 70 as the RHO, yeah, I would assume that the 6.4 motor one probably starts around 70, and then the 5.7, I'm really not sure about that. Just stopped at the gas station. Let's see how much this puppy will take. You wanna show everyone what you got from the gas station?
Yes, I got lower sugar Gatorade because I'm trying to watch my figure.
Never seen that before. All right, let's see how bad it is. Oh!
Whoa!
That's
a bit tough. That's a bit hard on the eyes.
Yeah. Yikes.
The damage has been done. I am officially $133 poorer.
Ellie, what do you think about working at Toyota?
To be honest, I do like it.
What do you do there?
I am an autonomous vehicle software technician.
That sounds pretty fancy. So,
yeah.
So what do you do?
So basically what I do is I work closely with engineers, and the engineers give us different tests to run on these autonomous vehicles, basically to test different test cases while the car's in autonomy, to basically either teach the car how to drive like as human as possible or to test its limits. So, Benny, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm a stay-home dog. I'm an SAHD, stay-at-home dog.
Well, speaking of Toyota hybrids that are surprisingly quick, what do you think of the new Toyota GR GT that got announced?
That is very cool. I think that Toyota was due for something really sporty and exclusive like that. Obviously their flagship vehicle was the LC500 for a pretty long time. But honestly, when you see an LC500, you don't look at it and think, oh wow, that's a nice new car. It definitely like looks older. Like it looks like it needs some sort of facelift or something. It's definitely not like super modern. So I think that they needed something to replace it, and that GR GT is a pretty cool concept. Also, they're really pushing for the GR platform. So right now they just came out with the GR RAV4, which is pretty cool. Which is actually pretty quick. I actually watched a video the other day, and the GR RAV4 beat the sporty Volkswagen SUV. You know which one I'm talking about?
Atlas, Taos?
I think so.
One of those? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. So it's actually quick. But I'm not a fan of RAV4. I still wouldn't buy it even if it was a GR, but they definitely are putting the GR trim on a lot of their vehicles, and that's pretty cool. It's kind of like what Ford did with the ST, that they're making more of their bigger vehicles with that ST badge and the ST power. And I think people like that because not everybody wants to have a GR Corolla and drive it every day, especially if they have a big family. People need and want bigger SUVs, but maybe still want that sporty side. So Toyota, I guess, is taking that under consideration. I think that people are happy and excited about that.
Well, I think that's really tricky to pull off, right? Because I think that a lot of companies have tried to do that in the past. Like you said, Ford does that with the ST line, and the STs on like the Explorer and stuff. And don't get me wrong, the Explorer ST is really cool. But also Audi has done this in the past with the S cars and then the S line cars, and that didn't really turn out too well. I don't think the S line cars were very popular. The problem with it is when you put your performance badge on a basic commuter car, to try to drive up the price and make it a more premium product, it really takes away a lot of the credibility from that performance badge, and it makes it seem not as special when you really get the true GR performance car.
That's actually a very good point, because you expect when you get something with like that sporty badge or sporty package to it, you have like an idea of this thing is supposed to be like really sporty and special. And I think that actually, now that you mention it, that a lot of cars with those trims, they don't always perform as well as people expect, and I think it kind of ruins the specialty of those sporty trims. So that's actually a good point. But so far, what I've seen just specifically about the RAV4, people say it's pretty good. I'm not really sure if they will be able to sell a lot of them, but I think that people just appreciate that Toyota is trying, because I feel like they haven't really done anything like risky in a long time, and I think like them doing that is definitely taking them out of the comfort of just having like basic like NPC cars.
Yeah, so, well, the GR GT is really cool to see, and I'm really excited to actually see those on the road.
I've actually never seen one in person. Yeah, I've never seen one in person.
Well,
I've only seen pictures.
I would be surprised if you have, since they just announced them like 2 months ago in Japan. But as like a predecessor, or not a predecessor, but a successor to the LFA, yeah. I think it's really exciting, and I hope that they actually sell it in a large volume, so there's a lot out there, sort of like how the GTR did with Nissan, the R35, and hopefully it doesn't turn out to be another LFA where it was kind of sort of a failure when they were actually being produced, but I guess only time will tell.
I think that the LFAs are just really popular now, though, and I think that people were hoping that Toyota would remaster it like they did with the Supra. So I think that people were just slightly disappointed about that, but I hope that the GR GT exceeds people's expectations regarding that, because I think everybody was kind of antsy for them to bring back the LFA like they did with the Supra. Yeah.
Well, it's really sad to see the Supra is dead now, officially. So
yeah,
with this whole revival of their GR thing, and they're really going into the whole performance GR blah blah blah, it's kind of confusing that they'd kill off the Supra right now. It's kind of weird timing. I mean, yes,
since they're actually pretty popular. Like they have so many mods available for that platform, and I think people really like them more than they thought they would. So I guess I'm also confused why they just are like throwing their hands, up and just kind of done with it. I just think that's kind of doesn't really make any sense, because it's not like they weren't popular. They are definitely popular, and everyone who's had one loves it, and there's still many people who I'm sure would love to own one.
Yeah, well, I do sort of understand their standpoint, because the BMW Z4, which shares the platform, that's going away. That's getting canceled, and that's due to just low sales, which that makes sense. And then also the Supra's kind of getting old at this point, so I understand that point as well. But I feel like, at least here where we're at, I see a lot of them. I feel like they're really popular, so I think if they did go forward with another generation, maybe not, again, based off of a BMW platform, but if they just went their own way from scratch, I think it would sell pretty well.
Yeah, personally. I don't really understand why they like you said, I understand the Z4 because I know that they weren't popular, and they're definitely considered like an old person car. Like, I can't really think of anybody like hyping them up as if like they were like just as popular as like the M Sport BMWs, but Supras were definitely way more popular, so they could have still killed off the Z4 and just continued with the Supra, or Toyota themselves could have just taken over and just kind of redesigned it so it wouldn't have that BMW connection to it if BMW was just really like ready to just be done.
Yeah.
Which companies obviously have done that in the past, just like Mazda and Ford worked together and they had those Escapes. I don't know what the Mazda version was of it.
The Tribute.
Yeah, but the Tribute, like they were pretty much the same thing.
And the Ranger also had a Mazda version.
That's true. I forgot about that.
In other news, yesterday from the day we're recording, today's Friday the 22nd. Yeah, 22nd. Yesterday, Thursday, the 21st of May, Stellantis had their Investor Day, where a lot of the higher-ups did a whole presentation and showed off a bunch of stuff and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, there's been some leaks from Investor Day and some screenshots showing the future for North America brands and the future platforms that they're bringing. So Chrysler is planning on coming out with 3 more vehicles soon, 3 new models under the Chrysler name. I believe one of them is going to be an EV, and it's going to be it's going to be a mid-size SUV, EV only as far as right now, and then the other 2 are supposed to be smaller entry-level sort of compact SUVs that are going to be cheaper to kind of get more of the like the entry-level market. So I believe one is supposed to be under 30K, and then another one's supposed to be under 40K to kind of hit more of the market that's looking for a cheaper end car that currently Stellantis doesn't really have much in that segment. So that's pretty exciting. Chrysler's finally getting some more stuff, and it's not just going to be the Pacifica. As far as Ram goes, I think they're just going to keep going at it with the TRX and now the Rumblebee. I don't think they showed off much more than that. Jeep's getting some pretty exciting stuff. The Grand Cherokee is getting an SRT version, as well as the Grand Wagoneer is supposed to also get an SRT version.
That's going to be really cool.
Which that's really cool. That's really exciting.
People definitely think of Dodge as being more like sporty, like they are very like adventurous with their sporty engines, and they're obviously well known for like their sporty like SRTs and, you know, the powerful engine. So it's really cool that they are going forward with that. I mean, I don't know why GM is pushing for EVs. I mean, they literally had so many people laid off because they closed one of their like battery like what is it called that they had like a battery factory or something like that, or and
I know they just laid off, I believe, a bunch of people that were working down at the manufacturing plant down in Detroit for the Hummer EVs and the Silverado EVs.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know, like they're not selling. People are not buying. The only people who are driving those are people that are either like huge EV enthusiasts, which in my opinion, if you're an EV enthusiast, you're probably going to be looking more for Tesla and Lucid than like GM or Ford or, you know, anything else. And so basically it's those people or people who work for GM. I just don't really see anybody else like wanting to buy those. I don't know why they're still pushing for EVs. I mean, I get hybrids. Like hybrids totally make sense because like you still get to like have a combustion engine, but you do save a lot of gas by having the hybrid like platform, which makes sense to me. But like fully EV, it's just not where they thought it would be. I feel like I think that they were trying to push people to like buy these EV cars, but people just are not interested, and I don't know why they're still pushing for more EVs. It just makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, and on the hybrid thing, another thing with Jeep that they announced is the Grand Wagoneer is going to get an REEV, which is a range extended electric vehicle. So you guys might have already heard of this already. Basically what it is it's an EV that has a gasoline engine in the engine bay, and that gasoline engine just generates electricity that goes right back into the battery. But the wheels are powered solely by electric motors. I hope I'm correct on this. I think I am. And I believe they're shooting for like 700 miles of range on a single like charge slash fuel tank.
I mean, people were definitely worried about range when it came to EVs, so that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I'm not totally against EVs, but I just don't think that they're as like reliable as, you know, they were originally like introduced when they first, like, the EV hype was there. You know, just people just do a lot, especially in America, I feel like, or at least in our area, people do a lot of road trips, and just knowing that you may be in the middle of nowhere and you need to charge your battery, just some places around here or in the country just they don't have the infrastructure for electric vehicles, and so people just don't want to have to worry about that. Obviously every, you know, few miles there's a gas station, so nobody even has to worry about that. Thank you, Benny.
Yeah, the really confusing thing to me, especially with the EVs, was when Jeep recently came out with their Jeep Recon, which is an electric Jeep that is meant to go off-road and take the doors off, take the windows out, and out of any use case for an EV, going off-road would be, I think, the last thing you would want to do with an EV. I mean, if you want to daily drive it, whatever. If you want to take it on road trips, whatever, you can maybe you can find chargers. It's just more of an inconvenience. If you want to take it to the track, sure, whatever, but off-roading seems like the last thing you want to do with an EV, with the risks of puncturing a battery and it igniting into flames, or just running out of juice when you're out in the middle of nowhere on trails. It just does not seem like a good idea. But luckily the Jeep Recon is getting an ICE version as well, and a hybrid version. And here's Goose.
Goose really wants to sit on our lap.
Yep. Yeah, come here, Goose. Okay, good boy. A couple other things from Stellantis. So, like I said, the Grand Wagoneer and Grand Cherokee are supposed to get SRT versions. There's also going to be a new model, the Scrambler, or the Wrangler Scrambler, which was one of their concept Jeeps that they had, that they've shown off in the past couple years.
Most people do know about that.
Yeah,
so.
It's the bright green one.
Yeah.
It's a two-door JL that has a pickup bed in the back, a very short pickup bed. That's pretty cool. So if they come out to market with that, I think that would be super popular, especially with how unique it is. There's really nothing else on sale like that that's from the factory, and it's not a conversion. And that's also supposed to be getting an SRT version, which I'm assuming would just be a 5.7. If they put, like, I guess they could make it a 392. That'd be really, really cool. And then that's Jeep. And then Dodge, lastly, Dodge's future plans. Obviously, you know, we're gonna get V8s of the new Charger, and, you know, SRT versions of that. We have the Hellcat Durango. There's also teased, I believe, one or two other new models coming. Yeah, two other new models coming for Dodge. One is going to be a GLH, which is going to be sort of an entry-level, sort of like 30 to 40 grand hatchback / small crossover that's supposed to be sort of sporty, and that's going to get an SRT version. So think sort of like the Caliber SRT4, something sort of like that.
Those are kind of cool.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. And another new model that's coming out, did not have a name tied to it yet, but the silhouette showed sort of like a two-door coupe sort of look. So that kind of is making people sort of maybe believe that the Viper is making a return. Whether it's called the Viper or not, I don't know, probably not, especially if it's under the Dodge brand, but that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was pretty hyped up about the last Viper generation, and honestly, Vipers, no matter what generation it is, always catches people's eye, so Dodge would definitely be doing the right thing by introducing it back and maybe having it, remastered.
Yeah, and you may be thinking, well, the Charger already comes in a two-door. You don't need two two-door coupes in the model lineup, but the Charger is unbelievably heavy. So if they could actually make a purpose-built sports car that's a two-door, two-seater, 2+2, that would be really special, especially coming from Dodge and with all the crazy powertrain stuff that they have going on. Also announced for Ram, I just remembered, the new Dakota, the new midsize truck is coming out. Obviously, everyone knows about that. They're also going to be coming out with a compact pickup truck. So think of like the Ford Maverick. They're going to come out with a competitor to that, which they already have in South America. It's called the Rampage. It's a unibody truck. It sort of looks similar to like the Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Okay.
I think it's a Santa Cruz. And then lastly for Ram, they're coming out with a SUV called the Ram Charger. And
well, we've heard that one before.
Yeah, and that's
definitely not a new name.
Yeah, that's going to be based off of the Durango platform and share a lot of similarities with the Durango. So that's pretty exciting as well. Just have like the Ram styling to it. Hopefully that'll also have all of the cool SRT stuff going on with it. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited just for the future for Stellantis, and especially to go to like roadkill nights coming up in August. That'll be really cool. That's going to be it for this podcast episode, episode 2. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, you are awesome. Thank you so much. Go back to my last episode and watch it. If you didn't catch that, it's a lot shorter, and it features Quentin. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.